So E3 was this week. I think it is coming to a close. Obviously, today's Friday. Don't know how much longer it's going to go on. I have never been to an E3 convention. Ever in my life. I have never been to an E3 convention. E3 has always been something I've never really had much interest in until maybe a couple of years ago. I really didn't pay much attention to it because there's a lot of stuff that I had going on, school and whatnot. It's like I had no time for it, which actually kind of sounds sad. But it felt as though I had no time for it. But seeing that I now can actually pay attention to it, it actually is great. And I actually liked this year's E3. It had a lot of stuff to show. Most conferences had more than others. Microsoft had a couple of things that I was actually interested in, the Rare Collection and Cuphead, which were actually two very interesting games, actually multiple games in the case of the Rare Collection. But Cuphead actually looked very, very interesting. It actually had a very interesting premise, very interesting art style, and I actually like the game. It actually looks interesting, and I will more than likely buy it because it looks very good. The Rare Collection, obviously I'm going to buy that. And who is not going to buy the Rare Collection? Of course people are going to buy the Rare Collection. Everyone loves the Rare. And the only games that you probably won't see are the, GoldenEye and whatnot, stuff that was on the N64. You probably will not see those games at all. But there are a ton of games on there. And I'm expecting to get that and actually play every single game. Well, probably not every single game. I think there's a ton of games on there from Rare, and I want to play as many of them as I can because there were some that I remember playing, like Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day, and then there are others that I've absolutely never heard about. Obviously, Killer Instinct. I've never played a Killer Instinct game outside of the 2013/Season 2 reboot, and that's about it in terms of what I would actually want in, or what I actually was interested in. And now I know I kind of did not segue well into that one part there, but you know what? That's just how I do things. Sony had a lot of bombs to drop. They had Shenmue 3. It's a Kickstarter. I don't know why they couldn't just have the development studio or the publisher or whatever raise the money, but it's in the Kickstarter, and a lot of people lost their crap over it. It was like, oh my god, they're actually making this. It looked interesting. I've never played Shenmue before, but I'm sure a lot of fans will love the fact that they are making another one, or at least going to make another one. It kind of depends on whether or not the Kickstarter gets funded or not. They're making a Final Fantasy VII remake, which no gameplay was shown, and the same with Shenmue 3. There was absolutely no gameplay shown for that either. There were just cinematic trailers, heavily CGI, no gameplay, which to a lot of people, though it was a very, very big giant bomb, to others it wasn't like, nah, like where's the gameplay? A lot of people want to see gameplay instead of a giant CGI trailer because it shows that the game is coming along well and not just some failed project that will end up biting the dust during its development cycle. Ubisoft, I cared none for it. Like, I honestly didn't care anything for it. I couldn't give a crap what Ubisoft does. Part of the reason is because a lot of stuff they do is I don't like overly story-driven games, and what Ubisoft does is overly story-driven games, and for the most part I just have no interest in it whatsoever. I find them to be boring and not fun. I'm someone who likes to play JRPGs, and I would much rather be playing tons of JRPGs than Assassin's Creed. Now, the only game that I actually really had any real interest in from Ubisoft was actually Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Unfortunately, they aren't going to make another one, so hopes for that are pretty much dashed. What else was there? Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda. I think I might have covered all the ones that I really kind of just watched. The Sony one I actually watched through a live stream. Yo Video Games actually had a live stream, or Maximilian Dude had a live stream of it on Twitch. I watched it on there. They were reacting to it. He lost his shit when he saw the Shenmue 3 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was actually kind of, you know, it's always fun to see him react to things. But anyway, to really the whole entire E3 conference in itself, I'm actually kind of excited to see what people have to say and what interviews were, you know, had during this week. You know, the E3 conference is, I'm assuming, winding down because it's the end of the week. I don't know when it ends officially. I don't know if it's on a Friday or maybe a Saturday. I have no idea. But it probably is winding down, and tons of people are, you know, literally getting their interviews, you know, squared away and ready to, you know, freaking upload. I'm actually very excited to see what some of these people have asked some of these developers. I'm really hoping to find some information that somebody managed to coax out of id Software and Bethesda about the new Doom game. Hopefully somebody managed to get one of the developers to actually say, oh, well, the beta is this and this and this days, you know, and I really want to figure out when that beta is. Odds are, I don't know if it's going to be open. I do know that the beta will indeed go to the pre-orders of the Wolfenstein New Order game first. Whether or not it'll be open is a completely different story. However, I am willing to believe that, well, probably not believe, but I'm hopeful that it will probably go public for a little while, maybe just a couple of days, you know, or maybe half a week, maybe 3 days. That'll be fine. I just want to see how the game plays. You know, I want to feel how the new Doom game plays. I want to figure out more about Fallout 4, though. I'm not a big Fallout fan. It looks interesting, the whole idea of building stuff, creating your own neighborhoods and whatnot in Fallout 4 sounds very interesting. I actually would really like to try that out and actually, you know, learn more about that system because it actually intrigues me very much. Cuphead, you know, it might sound stupid, but I want to know more about Cuphead. I really do. I want to know more about Cuphead. I also want to actually figure out what games, other than, you know, the ones I mentioned, are in the Rare collection, other than Killer Instinct, other than, you know, Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day. I want to know what else is on there, because there are some other games that I actually want to try out that I have never played before. And hopefully there will be some, you know, games in there that I will just love the heck out of, because I love, you know, I loved a lot of games from like the freaking 90s. I never played any, I never owned an NES, so I never played any of the Rare games that were on NES, but I owned a Nintendo 64, a Sega Genesis. I played the SNES, but I never owned one, so any games on there as well, I did not have the pleasure of even trying. But I will say that whatever's in that Rare collection, I am definitely willing to actually, you know, play the heck out of, because I want to learn more about that as well. What games are on there other than the 3? Aside from that, I really don't know much else to talk about. You know, Ubisoft's conference, I had no interest in whatsoever. You know, I would probably crap myself if they even tried to make a Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon sequel. Or, you know, it would be amazing if they actually did a legit freaking, like, satirical version of Assassin's Creed in the vein of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. That would actually be kind of interesting, though it probably will never happen because Ubisoft. Yeah, I have no other thing to say but to say Ubisoft, because odds are we will never see anything interesting out of them. I don't know. There are a couple of other games that I did not mention, and a couple of other developers like Platinum Games. They didn't have, like, obviously some of these developers don't have their own frickin' conference, but there were a couple of games on the Xbox One from Platinum Games that I really want to try. I don't remember the name of it. Quantum Break, I don't think there was anything for that game at E3 this year, which kind of sucks. The famed Alan Wake developer did not have it over there. Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys later, and perhaps I will get some new information. Later.